We're joined now by Kevin Sjuts from 1011 News in Lincoln. Kevin, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning. We've got a dusting of snow here in Lincoln, and my puppy right now is out in the backyard and loving every second of it.
Wait. What kind of dog?
Well, we got a St. Bernard Poodle mix. He's about, 7 months old now.
What the?
And
you got a
and little
Bernedoodle?
guy's already. What?
You got a Bernedoodle? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And this dude is awesome. He doesn't lack energy, and right now he's going nuts. So if I'm a little distracted, I'm just watching him go absolutely crazy. He's already, we weighed him this week. He's pushing about 74 pounds right now.
Lord have mercy.
What's the name?
Rocky.
Oh, good name for a dog. That's a good dog name.
Oh, gosh. Here we go. There's the dog voice. I'm sitting next to maybe arguably the biggest dog lover I've ever met.
It's true. I turn into a totally different person around dogs. Like, if the person that DB wants him to be, like, nice and friendly, like, that's how I am around dogs.
Oh, totally relate to that. Sometimes you'll be in the worst mood. You're working in the garage or out in the front yard, and you just see, like, a lovable pup come walking down the street, and instantly you're on your knee, like, oh, good boy, come, like, it is crazy how dogs can flip our brains instantly.
All right. So, Kevin, are you at least entertaining the idea of having to fly somewhere from New York based on how volleyball goes?
Yeah, that's a tough turn. The challenge with this whole thing is it's good for volleyball because they extended the NCAA volleyball Final Four a few years ago, and the championship is now on Sunday. The whole primary driving factor was to get it on network TV. It's broadcast on ABC, so that's going to be on Sunday, the 22nd, and then Nebraska football. I might be wrong on my dates, but Nebraska football then plays, Saturday of the same week. So for anybody doing the double coverage from Louisville to New York stretch and traveling to New York City around, in between Christmas and New York City is not exactly easy.
Yeah. Speaking of volleyball, I mean, I know obviously with you in Lincoln, Nebraska gets all the run. Creighton also in the Sweet 16 as well. And let's not forget about Omaha and Bellevue's own Bellevue Bruins, national runners-up in the NAI national tournament as well. It's good to play volleyball in the state of Nebraska.
Absolutely. And awesome that you just shouted out Bellevue. Epic match in the NAIA championship last
Tough
night.
Loss.
They lost
Tough loss.
Indiana. Oh, my goodness. Set 5 was unreal. And in order to get to the championship round for Bellevue, they knocked out on the way, I believe it was in the quarterfinals, they knocked out Concordia, which is just down the road here in Seward, and they had a historic season as well. So, Ravi, appreciate you giving the love to teams across Nebraska in volleyball. Wayne State had a fantastic year. Criminally was left out of the Division II tournament, and then UNK was ranked in the top 10 nearly the entire season. They unfortunately were upset in the first round of the D2 tournament.
Hey, quick rundown here, Kev. You got Penn State, Marquette, Texas, Creighton, Wisconsin, A&M, Dayton, Nebraska. Obviously, that's one half. But then you go Louisville, Purdue, Florida, Stanford, Missouri, Kentucky, Oregon, Pitt. Which side would you rather be on?
Oh, I don't want to be on Louisville's side. I still like
because you're at the Yum Center, or just because it's Louisville?
Because Louisville's region is very tough, and they almost lost last round to Northern Iowa. In fact, you and I had match point 3, 4, 5 times, and we've heard Coach Cook talk about how when Omaha is hosting the Final Four, how difficult that season is because there is just an enormous amount of pressure that these players feel throughout the entire year. There have been times Nebraska has hosted the Final Four and the Huskers don't make it. And so I'm wondering if that's maybe what's happening with Louisville. And the other thing working against the Cardinals right now is, they got Stanford in the regional, and Stanford enters the tournament about as hot as anybody in the country. So I just want to stay away from that side. And I like where Nebraska sits. So they can beat Dayton. they can beat Wisconsin, and if they get those 2 wins here on Friday and Sunday, they're headed to Louisville for the Final Four. And I've said all
I think
season,
A&M is going to be tricky for Wisconsin, though.
I could see that. I could see. I guess I shouldn't
Just with their
pace.
just with their pace, like offensively, because that's what Nebraska did to them, and it dealt them fits.
Yeah, that's a great point. Look at you talking volleyball, TV. You know what you're talking about. This is great.
I like sports.
This is great. That's a great take. And talk about pressure. Maybe Wisconsin's feeling it. You know, they've struggled. They've been up and down. Wisconsin has a freshman setter. You never know how they're going to play. When the season is on the line. So that's a good call. That's probably, for me, the better of the 2 regional semifinal matches at the Devaney Center on Friday. I've said all year long, Nebraska to me just looks like a national championship team. The way they played last week in the first and second rounds, like, you have to walk away from the Devaney Center going, yep, they're winning it, because they looked so unbeatable.
Kevin, going from everything going on in the college athletics world, it's been a super busy time in high school as well. I don't think we've talked to you since the state football championships wrapped up, and all of a sudden we're fast and furious into basketball season as well. What's keeping you busy on the high school scene this week?
Well, we've got high school basketball. We've already had some great, opening Friday was unbelievable for us here in Lincoln. Standing Bear girls, by the way, won their first ever varsity game on Friday on a buzzer beater by a freshman, and it was her first ever made field goal in a varsity game. That's like storybook epic stuff that, start writing the book of Standing Bear basketball now, and that's going to be the lead chapter. Pretty amazing stuff there. But a lot of high school basketball, trying to figure out who's really at the top of the list in terms of Lincoln prep basketball. Early indications say it's going to have to be either Lincoln Southeast or possibly Lincoln North Star. They've got some nice young talent at North Star. And then Lincoln Lutheran right now is ranked number 1 in Class C1.
Death taxes in Lincoln Lutheran?
Lincoln Lutheran Athletics, you pick a season. They've got a team that's probably pretty good.
Kevin, we appreciate the time as always. Great stuff. And I put this out on Twitter, but just want to make sure you hear it as well. Our listeners, aka me, need a picture of Rocky in the snow whenever you get a chance. So,
I got you. He's still out there. He's just like, he's got the zoomies, and it hasn't stopped this whole time.
Oh, I have 2 Frenchies. I can tell you all about zoomies. Goodness gracious.
I love it. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Just make sure they stay away from the furniture, right?
Yes. I know where they've been. Appreciate it, Kevin.
Appreciate it as always. We'll talk to you soon.
Be well and stay warm.